Alright. Little audio test. Seems a little loud. Let me fucking put this shit like right here. There we go. Is that a little better? Yeah, it's a little better. Alright. This is my first day off the week. And I decided to just start riffing. Just about shit. You know, I got a lot of shit on my mind, and you know, usually I will inconvenience other people by just fucking yelling at them, you know, just telling them things about things, you know. So I just thought, like, you know, might as well just get it off my mind. One day a week. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. A little bit about myself. I work at a gas station. It's probably the worst fucking job I've ever had. I mean, the benefits are okay, you know. It's not a bad job, honestly. It's a good job. I get good hours. I fucking work 40 hours a week, usually, give or take 8. Fuck. Hold on. But it's just the fucking people, man. The fucking people are so stupid. You know, I never really worked in retail before. You know, I've always been a server. Which is kind of retail, but it's a different. There's a big difference. You know, it's like people want to go to a fucking restaurant, you know. But it's like you go to a gas station, it's like you have to be there. You don't, you know, you're not expected to, like, you know, act nice. Or like some people, you know, just fucking, you know, don't give a shit. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I do that. I make music. I'm a rapper. Yeah. Let's see. I never really had to just talk alone for an hour. Or a fucking, I don't know, half an hour. So I guess I'll just try to figure it out. I don't know. People fucking do dumb shit, dude. It's like people all day are just fucking... People all day are just like either getting mad, you know, or just like, I don't know, just like trying to include me in conversation. It's like a fucking work, like, you know, it's like 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. I'm not trying to talk to you. I don't care how your day goes, you know. You know, I don't say shit like that, you know, but I really wish I could. It'd be awesome. Well, why not? Why can't I just fucking say it, you know? Just fucking tell people, like, no, shut the fuck up. You're stupid. Dude, this is one fucking guy, dude. This one guy who he comes in all the time, and, like, you know, you could just be talking about anything. Doesn't matter. He'll you know, just self-insert. You know those types of people. Those fucking like fucking you know, this, you know, that reminds me of an experience that I fucking had the other day, and then they just, like, talk for 12 hours. That's this guy. Every fucking time. It's like I was talking to my coworker once about, like, a fucking, like, some game I was playing, like a board game, and he's like, oh, man, you know my fucking game? I play, what is it? Like, Call of Duty on the phone, right? I was like, cool. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what you fucking want, you know? What do you want? Oh, hell yeah, bro. That's fucking awesome. I know that. I've heard of that one before. Like, is that what I'm supposed to do? What's my expectation? What's his... I never really understand, you know, why the fuck... Just get all mad. I don't understand. Why the fuck? I don't really understand why the fuck people, you know, like that exists. Like, you know, like I'm a fucking moron, you know. But at least I have the self-awareness involved to know when I'm fucking being annoying, nobody's listening, I feel like if people are just like vaguely staring off into space, maybe it ain't it, maybe the bit ain't hitting, should try another one, should try another method. Maybe it's not working out for you. I don't fucking know. Am I just like hyper self-aware? There's no way, right? I always thought I was like a pretty average guy, nothing crazy special, but it's just sometimes I just feel like there was like a sense of development, or there was like a point of development that like I got that like other people just didn't get, there's some sort of switch that happened. I don't know. It's probably just my anxiety, honestly. My anxiety turned me into a relatable human being, I guess. I don't even know what the fuck that meant, but it's fucking bananas, man. People just like blaze through life, just not giving a shit. There's this fucking guy in yesterday. He fucking was just like yelling on the phone, man, just fucking screaming and shit. He's just on the phone. He's like sitting on the counters. He's just like, oh, by all means, fucking, by all means, just hang out, please, for an hour and just fucking yell on the goddamn phone. Shit's bananas. It just literally blows my mind. I don't understand. If you hear running water, it's because I live in a garage. But it's not as bad as it seems, I fucking have a rug in here and stuff. That's the pinnacle of lived in, I got a rug. Oh. People come in, they comment like, oh, nice rug. People do, actually. It's not even a joke. It is a nice fucking rug. My ex-girlfriend got rid of it, gave it to me, and now I have it. And that's awesome. I've been listening to, I've listened to a bunch of weird fucking music lately. Like, I think my music taste just kind of like, I don't know if they like developed or like if this is like a devolution, if it fucking like went down or went up. But I just listened to like fucking like just weird music on purpose now. Like music before where I'd be like, ugh, like I couldn't really find any like, musical value in it. I would just start listening to that shit now. It's good though. I mean, I can see the artistry in it. Now it sounds like pretentious as shit. I'm trying really, people just get mad. I think like I've had so many people call me pretentious over like my music preferences. It's, I don't know. It's like the way that I talk about it or something, or I don't know. Like people are just insecure about it. Like, it's not that big of a fucking deal, I think, It's like, you can like whatever you fucking want to listen to. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna judge you as a person. But people feel like personally attacked when I just say like I don't like a certain band, or I think that a certain person is like just not a good artist. Like people get really upset about shit like that. I just don't really understand it. That's kind of like a general thing, just about like, people in their worlds, like people have their own little worlds. They just get upset about shit all the fucking time. I don't get it, It's just like it's not that bad. It's not really that fucking bad where you just have to get that upset about like fucking everything. It's like, who cares, Just move on. I sure shit will, It's like, why you gotta care so much? if I do or don't like this band, or do or don't like this fucking religion, or do or don't like politics. It's not that big of a deal. You know? I don't know. Speaking of politics, like people get so passionate about politics, but I just I don't really get the whole argument or the whole thing at all. Like I am completely lost for the most of it. Like I don't understand. Like I can see why people care, you know. For the most part, I can understand. Like you can look at it and it's kind of like an investment. So it's like fucking watching your favorite hockey team, you know. It's like you like, you know, just self-insert, you know. You're like, I'm one of the team, you know. You're like, I'm the, you know, America's just a big team. The Democrat Party's just like a big team of people, you know. And we're going for the Stanley Cup, you know. So it's just like I could see rooting for it like on that base level, you know. But I've never had school spirit, you know. I never give a shit, you know. It's like I never understood that either. It's like I don't know. Maybe I'm just purposefully like I like going against the grain. I think it's, you know, I'm just like a fucking edgelord or something, you know. But I mean, I've always been like that, so I guess I'm just like, you know, I just can't really be saved at this point, right? So I might as well lean fucking into it, right? That's the best way to do it, I think. You just like pick a trait and just go hard on it, and that's just like what being an adult is, right? But like, you know, what was I fucking talking about? I understand why people like politics, of course, right? But I just don't really, like, I don't really get it. Like, it doesn't, I never see it personally affect me to a point where I can start giving a shit, you know? It's just never fucking happened. Like, there's never been a snap. Like, with everything, you know, like a lot of things, there's been like a point, you know, where like it just clicks in, and I'm like, oh, I fucking get it now, you know, it makes sense. I can get into this. You know, with that, it's just like, you know, it's just like both sides are so fucking corrupt, dude. It's like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, everybody's just a piece of shit, right? Not even politically, just like philosophy, you know, philosophically. Like, philosophically, everyone's just a fucking animal, you know? And we can't really help it, you know? And that's, you know, that just is what it is. But it's like these fucking people, you know, with power, you know? And they're, like, just rich enough, but, like, you know, they don't have, you know, so much money where they're humble about their money. They're just rich enough where they can move shit and they can swindle shit and they can just do all the shit and everything. Everybody's corrupt and everybody's like accepting bribes and everybody's fucking passing the legislation that they would have fucking passed. The same cloth, you know. It doesn't matter, you know, either side. You know, I have this theory that this conspiracy theory. I subscribe to a couple, you know. I have this conspiracy theory that, you know, political parties were just created to, you know, to just divide and conquer, you know. It's like you can't really have, you know, it's like football, you know, or like when they have like a fight or something like that, you know, they just like they dredge it up, you know, they dredge it through the fucking ringer, you know. They do all this advertising and, you know, everybody you know, gets all jacked on the concept of like, you know, Pacquiao versus some other guy. It's not fucking Pacquiao, you know. And everyone gets all jazzed on it, and then like the fight hits, you know, it's just like, and like all that is you know, behind it is like the meaning. Like people create it themselves, right? So it's just like, yeah. So I feel like these political parties are, it's just like people, you know, just putting meaning or needing meaning in their life, right? And then just, you know, finding a scapegoat for all the problems in the world instead of just fucking, you know, sitting down and just accepting the fate and just, you know, just dealing with it, you know? I feel like people don't do that shit anymore. People don't just sit down and deal with shit. And it bums me out. I don't know. Maybe no, it doesn't bum me out, but it just fucking, you know, it's like they're weak, you know? It's like they're fucking weak. Bunch of weaklings. I don't know. I'm a fucking... know, I can't really fucking help it. You know, I'm a fucking, I don't know, I'm just a human, right? So it's just like, all I could do is just fucking, I don't know. I probably should have thought of just some shit to say before this, but, you know. Let's see. I mean, okay. I'll go back to my music point. I've been listening to, this really good fucking album. This is where my pretentious side will come through, because be like, oh, it's not really for everybody, and like fucking, if you don't, think about it, then like you probably won't get it. But you know, it's like a weird listen, but it's really good. It's called Caligula, by this stage name. This girl named Lingua Ignota. It's her stage name. I don't really know her real name. But it's like this this like freeform metal, like opera. It's really fucking good. Well, that's the thing too, is like I'm so fucking far down the music rabbit hole at this point that it's just like I hear an album like that and like I like it, but I don't know if it's like good, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's actually good or if it's just fucking like just me being like, oh, that's different, you know? It's just like, if it's like, it's like so different that I'm just like, I like, you know, have this false pretense that it's like actually good just because it's a different thing than what I'm used to. So I don't know, I guess it is that, though. It's very fucking different from anything I've ever heard. And sonically, it's really amazing. It's just really good, really big and grandiose, you know? And it's cool. It's just about like a breakup, like the album. But it's like biblical, you know? Like there's like a biblical, not even undertones, like the whole thing is just biblically charged. The fucking, like every album or every song name on the thing is just like, has like a biblical reference to it, and she like references all these things, and it's just like, it's huge. And I've never heard an album like that before, and sonically it's just very diverse and very dense, and it's like intense, you know? It's like I wouldn't really consider it like, you know, heavy metal, but it's probably like one of the most metal shit I've ever heard in my life. It's hard. It goes fucking hard. It gets me jacked. Yeah. I learned about it from just watching the Needle Drop. He reviewed it. It's an album from last year. You know, he reviewed it and it looked really interesting. Yeah, and I checked it out and I like it. You know, it's like the same thing with me and like JPEG Mafia. If you've ever heard of him, he's really good. His stuff is more like it's like a little less significant, I feel, but he does have a lot of good stuff to say, and like a lot to say. And he's very, you know, he packs a lot into like a lot of things, like a lot of different concepts. He says a lot of shit that, you know, you don't really hear people say. That's kind of why I like him. He goes against the grain. He creates more of like a musical experience with it, you know. But he definitely goes against the grain, just like musically and you know, rhythmically. See, I don't know. I don't really know like when my musical taste like delved into that. I guess it was like, I don't know, when I was a kid I used to listen to like, when I was like 18, I used to listen to like Flying Lotus and stuff like that, and just weird producers that I thought were really cool. Like I was really into like glitch and like break beats and stuff like that, just because I really liked the way that you could play around with like rhythm, you know, make shit just sound different, just based on like where you put like a fucking snare, you know, or like, you know, how the hi-hats are oriented. Shit's cool, man. I like it. I make music myself. Also, I had like a lull for a while. You know, I used to make beats. I used Reason. I used to make a beat like pretty much every day. I'd make a beat. But I stopped for a while because I was like trying to focus on like rapping and like making music, because I had like these friends that like would rap, and you know, I never really wanted to rap. You know, I'd always just make beats. I really liked rap at the time. And like now, I mean now, not at the time. I liked rap, and I was starting to listen to it more and more and more. So I was like, I want to make this music. It's cool, you know. So I started making the beats, and then, you know, having rappers rap on them, and then eventually like people were like, oh, you should try rapping. It's fun. So then I tried, and it was pretty fun. You know, I was really fucking bad at it at first. You know, then I came to Seattle and met this group of people, and then yeah, we just started making music, and it was fun. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. Haven't really fucking done anything with it. I've been up here for fucking 6 years. You know, and I've always kind of just half-assed the music thing. I don't know. I do that shit all the time. Like I'm just lazy. Like it's not even like an issue of like, you know, me being, you know, anything but just a piece of shit. I can't really help, like, I can't help it, you know. It's like, I'm not like just like a lazy piece of shit all the time, you know. I try not to be, you know. I try to like do things, but for the most part, you know, I take the easy route, and that's kind of like one of my main problems in life. Is I just kind of go with what, you know, I feel like is easier at the time, and that shit's fucking stupid. I gotta stop that shit. You know, it ain't fun. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it is fun at the time. You know, you just like, fuck yeah, like I'd rather fucking, I don't know, fucking watch YouTube all day than just do something, you know. I should, you know. Then like at the end of the day, I feel like a piece of shit, you know, and then I go to bed, and then I fucking wake up and just do it all again, you know. with thoughts of like grandeur, you know. I'm like, I won't do that, you know. There's always tomorrow, you know. Tomorrow's fucking stupid. It's the dumbest day ever, you know. I don't know. You know, I'm trying to stop that, you know. So now I'm like, you know, getting back into my mode and starting to like do more things. I started making more beats. And that's been really good, you know. It was like hard, it was like frustrating at first because I just like kind of lost like a little bit, I lost my mojo, you know. But you know, you just start doing shit, you know, and just pick it up quick, you know. It's in there still, you know. It's still in my brain. It's not like it just leaves. Like whenever I stop doing it, like it's still in there. It's just like, you know, the synapses get buried under other synapses, and then fucking, you know, you got to work a little harder to make them fire off, you know. But they started firing off, and you know, they started like, you know, prioritizing them, so it's easier now, you know, to make music again. And that's awesome. That actually happened to me for a while, like with rapping, as I was super into it, and it was like it came very easily and naturally to me. And then after a while, I just like stopped just being able to think of material and just ran out of shit to say, or like, I don't know. I feel like anxiety always had like a big part of it, because I would like, you know, just like second guess everything that I was saying. I'm like, oh, that sounds stupid, yada yada yada. But that's just like, you know, anything after fucking like, write this down, this sounds cool, I like this. It's just like, you know, it's just second guessing, you know. That shit's bullshit. It's like been the bane of my existence for like ever. It's just second guessing myself and second guessing things. You know, people notice that shit, you know. As much as you'd like to think that, you know, nobody notices anything that you do, people fucking notice that shit, like on a what's the word? It's like a infinitesimal level, what's that shit, like micro language? On like a micro level, or like your macro language is like the shit that you're saying, or like the shit that you're fucking like doing consciously, and then like your micro language is like all the shit that you just do subconsciously just because you don't have self-esteem. You know. You know, it's just like, you may think that, you know, you're not really doing shit like that, you know, but it's like everybody fucking does it, and you can notice, you like notice too when people do it, you know, as soon as you start being like conscious of it, you know, like within yourself, you like start consciously trying to like, or just actively trying to like, you know, stop behavior like that is when you really start noticing it, like around in other people. And it's kind of interesting. You kind of feel like you're like, I don't know, like you can like operate on this like different level once you start noticing shit like that, because you start noticing like power sways, you know. In like conversation, you start noticing things that like small battles that you just like, you like win for like no reason. You know, it's all kind of like what, you know, interaction is. It's just like this, like, it's all these fucking small battles, like mentally, you know, or like in like an argument. Not just, no, like, I'm not a fucking sociopath. Like, it's not like in like every conversation I'm like winning these battles, but it's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. It kind of is, but it's not as prevalent. Like I'm saying, like, you know, even when you're just like normal talking to somebody, you can kind of notice like shifts, you know. Notice shifts and notice like, you know, differences in the way that people take things, you know, and then like the way that they react to you after that, you know, is like an artifact, you know, of just, you know, just you being yourself, you know, them being them, and then, you know, they just act in a certain way and they can't really help it, you know. But it's like in arguments, it's even, you can notice it even better, and that's like where I feel like it's better applied, you know. It's like you don't need to be fucking psyching people out, you know, just every day normally, you know. It's not healthy. But it's interesting, like once you start noticing like your shortcomings and like trying to like, you know, compensate for your shortcomings, or like trying to just like, you know, correct them because you don't like them, you know, you start noticing other people's shortcomings. You start noticing just like subtle shit that like people do, like you never really noticed before. Like I was having a conversation with like a manager like the other week about just something, like somebody oh yeah, some lady fucking, I forgot about this. Some lady fucking like complained about me because like I like tried to make a joke. She was like, she came in and she was like, hey, what, how much gas does my car take? You know, and like my first initial response was like, I don't fucking know, you know, like what the fuck? I don't know. You're like, what, like, first, like, I don't know. That's such a weird question. It's like, it's so specific. It's like, oh, like, what kind of car? Let me look it up. What's the, you know, so then I just, you know, instead of, you know, just being like, you fucking idiot, get out of here, you know, I just said like, oh, what's the volume of your gas tank? You know, we could do this, you know. It's like math exists that we can figure out like how much liquid it'll take, you know, to fill a container. You know, it's like we could figure it out. And then she like didn't hear me very well. And then, you know, once that happens, like I just get really fucking like, I'm like, oh, you know, like joke's over at that point. Like once I have to start repeating myself, it's like, oh, the bit's over. Like I'm not gonna repeat the bit, like the fucking, you know, I'm not riffing anymore, I'm done, you know. So I was just like, oh, I was like, never mind, it's just a joke. And then she said, huh? And I said, never mind. And that fucking pissed her off. Like she went, she went home and fucking got on the phone and called Safeway, complained about me. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. But anyway, so I was having a conversation with my manager about that, and like I just noticed that he was like, I don't know, like he like came up and he was just very like his shoulders were all hunched, and you know, he was clearly like very uncomfortable talking to me and talking to, you know, people in general. You know, he was all hunched up and like wasn't looking me in the eyeballs and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of like an extreme case of like what I'm talking about, but it's just like, you know, it's like I noticed, like I knew, like at that moment I was just like, oh, like I was like scared at first, you know. Or it's like when you talk to like an interviewer, you know, when you like interview and then, you know, they do something, or they like, you know, show like some sign of, I don't know, like distaste in like what you're doing, or like, you know, the opposite of like, you know, they start like ripping on the place they work or something like that. It's just like, you know, there's like an ease that happens, you know. It's like you like start noticing, you know, the shit in like third person. I don't know. Maybe just weird, but I just, you know, I fucking love moments like that. Like when you just like notice, when you can like step out and then like stop being like, you know, in a situation and start just like looking at it like practically, you know. Like you remove your personal bias of something, and then what's left is just like the thing, like just start, you know, there just right in front of you, and you can just like act accordingly, and it doesn't super matter like what happens, or like how you act, like that moment, you know, when you're like fucking super pissed at somebody, or like you and your girlfriend like break up, you know. It's like there's that moment like right after where you're just like, you know, you're just like, this is perfect, like I don't fucking, like I don't owe you anything anymore, you know. And then, you know, there's like a clarity, there's like a beauty in the moment when you can just be like, well, like, you know, like I don't care about the outcome of this situation anymore, so, you know, I'm free to just do and say whatever, or not do and say whatever you want, you know. And like obviously to a limit. Like I'm not talking just go fucking crazy, you know. don't go heinous or start beating the shit out of somebody, you know. But I mean, you know, there's like a certain clarity in just knowing, you know, just not giving a shit. What was that book? It was like that book, like The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, or something like that. Shit's all true, you know? It's a beautiful fucking thing to just not care, you know? It's like you're happier, you know? You live your life how you want, you know? And that's pretty much, you know? That's pretty much all you know, all I'm trying to do, you know? It's just like, you know, I mentioned like I live with anxiety. Talk about it like it's like cancer. It's like I've been living with anxiety for years, and I, you know, only now is when I'm finally starting to get the treatment. I don't know, I never knew I had anxiety for like the longest time, you know. So it's like the revolution that I was like, you know, that I had crazy amounts of anxiety was kind of a hard one to come to terms with, you know. But you know, in the same vein, I wasn't fucking like crippled by it. You know, so I could still operate like pretty normally, which is probably why I didn't notice it for the longest time. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's like I always just like second guess myself and just fucking, you know, but I started, you know, recently just like, you know, going with the moment, you know, and just trying to live, you know, like without regrets and like without, you know, because that's just like the thing is like the bane of my social interactions is always just like, is like not saying shit at the time when I should say the thing, you know, just because and then I just make it bigger in my head than it actually is, you know, and that shit's, you know, I know when it happens, and I can feel when it happens, and there's like a certain anxiety involved, that I can like feel. But it's just like, if you just go, with the flow at the moment, and just fucking push past that point where you're like, oh, I should tell. With me, it's like women a lot. So I go, oh, I should tell this girl that she's pretty, and then fucking, I don't do it, for the first 5 seconds, and then, after those first 5 seconds, they're very fucking crucial to me, because then it's just like, well, now, it's really big, and now I'm thinking about it, and now I'm thinking about like how I'm gonna approach the situation, what I'm gonna fucking do, and like what she's gonna say, and then after she says what she's gonna say, how what am I gonna say back, and so it's like, what am I, and it's not that big of a deal, and people fucking notice that shit, It's like people could tell if you're just like off the cuff and you're just like casual, as opposed to like, I fucking have been thinking about this for 10 minutes. And it fucking sucks, That's kind of the issue with like anxiety, is just like, it's like people think I'm fucking weird, I try not to be weird, I try to be pretty normal. I think, for the most part, I'm like normal enough, but it's just like people fucking think I'm way weirder just because I, just do weird shit. I don't know, like I do. I do weird shit and I say weird shit, because I'm like, because I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm just trying to tell them that their fucking shoes are cool, And that I blurted out like 10 minutes in, and it's just like, there's no context, there's no fucking, it doesn't make sense anymore. Like the moment's gone, and like, the moment's still going on in my head, and that's like the issue. It's like for everybody else, it's just like, it's like normal, like for me, it's just like this big thing. So I've been trying to just, instead of like having that moment where like I'm thinking about it way too fucking much, and then all of a sudden it's just like way too big in my head, then I can't control it. I just go like, I think it, and then you just fucking say that shit. It helps. You just say it, and then it's just out there, and then, it's like the worst thing is just like having the thought just bounce around in your head, and then, it goes through all these fucked up filters, these fucking shitty filters, like my childhood, my fucking upbringing, my fucking, the way the fucking like all my bullying in high school, It's like I think about all this shit, it's like, oh man, I don't want to go back to high school or get bullied in the locker room again, so then I just fucking, instead of saying the thing that I want to fucking say, I just clam up, I'm just like, it's just easier this way, but that shit's, it's stupid, I'm not trying, it sucks being a fucking a pussy about shit like that, and that's like the, a big rub about, what was I trying to say there? Big rub? Is that even a fucking term? Come on, Dad. That's the shit about that, is that, it's like, people can tell when, like a good example, there's this guy that I know that fucking, like, he's like not a bad looking dude, he's like not a weird guy, like he's fun to talk to, right? He's a good guy, and he's smart, and he's funny, and he dresses well, and he's like got good hair, and he's kind of short, but I don't think that matters as much as people think. Like, it might affect a little bit, like I feel like what it does affect is it affects, like, your own view on yourself, which is kind of like the, one of the biggest things with how other people view you. So it's just like, you go into the world as a small person, you're gonna get fucking treated like a small person. That's just kind of, you put into the universe what you get out of it, and that's just kind of the shit. It's just like, it's like the same thing with like negativity, positivity, you know, fucking, I don't know. It's like, you know, you put out negativity, and then you'll get it back. You know, it's like a reverberation. It'll just happen every time. You know, so it's like you put out there that you're like self-conscious and like have bad self-esteem and like, you know, don't really like yourself that much, and people like notice that shit. You know, and it's kind of freaky because it's just like, that's kind of like the whole thing about anxiety, is like you're always worried that everybody notices everything you do. And it's just like, for the most part, people fucking don't, you know. But, you know, in ways like, you know, if you talk to them, you know, or something like that, and like you're like a little off, like people notice that shit, you know. You know, it's all about like the little subtle things. So anyway, so this guy is a super good guy, you know, but he's just like riddled with anxiety, like way worse than like what I have, you know. And like talking to him is like a chore, because it's like he makes you uncomfortable, because he'll like say a joke, like usually at like your expense or something like that. Like he's you know, he's funny. He says like funny things, you know. And it's just like, for the most part, you know, I can laugh at myself. So I'm like, oh nice, that was a good one. You know, he'll say some fucking thing like, oh, you look like a skinhead, you know. I'd be like, oh yeah, I just came back from a Klan meeting. That's awesome, you know. And then fucking he'd be like, oh, just kidding. Like, I don't really think that, you know. And you know, it seems like a nicety. Like he's like, oh, that was just a joke. And it's just like, I fucking knew it was a joke, you know. That's why that's why I laughed, you know. So it's like I feel like in interacting with him, like he makes you feel like you're a dumbass, kind of. Like he makes you feel stupid, because he's like explaining like a very obvious joke to you, and it's just like, what, you don't think I would get the fucking joke? Like, it's obviously a joke. Like, you know, you're not actually calling me a skinhead. You know me. You know I'm not, right? And then, you know, so he says like, I'm sorry, or he says like, oh, I'm just kidding, or he says like, you know, and then he backtracks, so that it's just like, it's like, oh well, like, you know, it makes you feel uncomfortable talking to him, because you don't know, you know. It's like subconsciously, like you're like, oh, like what are you gonna say next, you know, that you're just gonna go back on, or like, what are you gonna say next that like you don't actually mean, you know. And it's like fucked up, you know, but that's like how it works, you know. And it's like a chore talking to him, because it's like you're constantly having to go through like these mental loops where like you're going down a path, you know, and then he cuts the path off, and it's like, oh, we're not going down that path anymore, I'm sorry, you know. And it's like, just fucking lean into it, you know. Just go with the flow. Just walk down the trail that you made. You know, you made the trail, you know. You took the effort to fucking, you took the effort to fucking point out the trail, and then, you know, point me down it, and then we're walking, and then you just grab my arm to sprint off into the woods, you know. It's fucked up, you know. It makes me feel weird. I don't know where I am now, you know, like with you or with anybody. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just because like, it's like my like anxiety spikes when like other people are being anxious like around me. And it's just like, dog, like you gotta fucking keep your cool, okay? Because I can't keep my cool if you're not keeping your cool, you know. And like, right now you're making me feel weird, and like, it's like, you know, making me think about weird shit, and like, I don't want to fucking do that. You know, and that's like all this shit I think about. You know, in regards to that. I don't know. That's just one of the more recent things that fucked me up. But I don't know, I was trying to tell him, like, you know, I was like, look, dude, like, you're a good guy. You just lack self-esteem, you know. That's just it, you know. It's like, if you're constantly second-guessing yourself, then people are gonna start second-guessing you, because it's just like, you know, people don't trust a person who doesn't trust themselves, you know. Just like bass, it's like, you're not gonna want to you're not gonna follow that person, you know? It's like, look at all the biggest leaders in the world, you know, they have that certain quality of charisma, you know? It's like, makes people want to go with them, makes people want to follow them, you know? It's like, if you don't have that, then you're pretty much lost. Like, it doesn't matter how short you are, it doesn't matter how you know, big you are, how ugly you are, you know, as long as you like put forth into the world that you're like a certain way, and you are that way consistently, then people fuck with you, and that's pretty much it. You know, like, there's no secret sauce, there's no secret fucking anything, you know? It's just like people will respond to what you put out, and you don't need to do anything fancy, really. Like, especially women. Like, women respond to that shit all the time. Like, of course, women like a, you know, like a strong guy, like a nice guy, you know, whatever, like a fucking funny guy. But, you know, it's like all about confidence. You know, it's like, if you're not funny, just fucking be confident that you're not funny. Like, sorry, I'm not fucking funny. You know, people, you know, if you're just like, I don't know, if you don't fucking like, if you think like, you know, bingo's like a conspiracy, you know, I don't know. That was a bad example. There was really no direction for that one. I don't know why I said it. Beyond just like just be a person, just be a fucking human being, and, you know, that's all you need to fucking do. You know, people respond to humanity, man. I don't know. I'm from this fucking hippie town, like this hippie ass, this stupid ass town. That's not stupid, it was a good town, but, you know, people like, you know, hippies fucking legit talk like that. I always thought it was like the funniest thing. They go like, well, like, you know, you're not really thinking about it from like, you know, the perspective of like, you know, the thing that matters, man. It's like, you know, you can't just go out and just say stuff like that, man. Like, they actually fucking do that shit, you know? They fucking, like, every other like apartment or house was like, you know, decked out in fucking Rastafarian shit. Just a bunch of fucking ignorant ass white people with dreadlocks, you know? And I always want to tell them, like, you know, if you go over to Jamaica and just say like, oh yeah, I'm a Rastafarian, like, you get fucking marked, like, instantly, you know? It's like, they don't fuck with you like that, you know? They don't fucking like you. That was the funniest thing, like, the biggest, like, if anything, that's fucking, I'm not gonna say that, but if anything, you know, that's fucking, it's just like ignorant to the fucking core, you know? I don't know. My hometown was kind of weird. I think my hometown, like, you know, let me, bred in me, like, a passion for argument, just cause, like, people over there are so fucking ignorant all the goddamn time. You know, not all the time, but, you know, most people are fucking just like super ignorant and just like really like, you know, like super confident in like the bullshit that they're fucking saying. It's just like fun to fucking poke at them, you know? I'm just like, I like instigating, so just like, you know, just jab at them a little bit and just like, oh yeah, you fucking think that, you fucking, you know, think all this bullshit, you know? You think that Christianity was like a conspiracy by the government to like overtake other countries? Which, like, it kind of was, but I mean, you know, it didn't start out like that, you know? It's just like, that was like the thing also about my hometown, is that, like, you know, they all were very, like, they were like super, you know, liberal and super open-minded. They still are, probably liberal and open-minded, but it's like to like an ignorant point where it's just like, it's like they would denounce like anything that was like Christian, white, and male, you know, as just like bullshit. But they'd be like, you know, they would, you know, accept everything else except for that. I always thought it was like the most like how can you say that you're like a free open thinker, and then like you're like actively being like, this is shitty, this is not good, you know? It's like a religion, you know? It's like a religion, like a whole race of people, you know? And you're just like I didn't mind that it was like them, but it could have been you know, it doesn't have to, you know, it doesn't matter that it's like, you know, they hate white people. I don't give a fuck, you hate white people. But it's just like it's like the fact that they're preaching like, oh, like I'm so open-minded and like I'm so like, you know, enlightened, and you know, we didn't say woke back then, you know, but that's like what it was. It was like these people like, you just being like, yeah, I'm fucking woke as fuck, you know. I know that, you know, the government created crack to bring the black man down, you know. I know that fucking, you know, bankers are corrupt and they steal money. It's like good job, you know. It's like the rest of the fucking world knows all that shit, you know. We all know all that shit. Or it's like, oh, I know that, you know, women become oppressed, you know, and like women are sexualized. It's like yeah, I don't know. It's just like these fake ass people, you know, they're just trying to get fucking college laid, you know. You know, and I was always like the naysayer, you know. It's always kind of cantankerous. Be just like yelling at people, not yelling, but I just like arguing, because I just like people. It's just like, and that's like my problem too. Is like, it's like if people say some dumb shit, dude, it's like I can never keep my mouth shut. You know, like back then, or like today, it's like if you say some weird ignorant shit, like I'm gonna be like what do you mean by that? I'm gonna entertain it, and then I'm gonna fucking be like, that's some stupid weird shit that you're saying. You know, but like, yeah, my hometown is like full of people like that, just like super, these fucking like super liberal, super like privileged, closed off people that are just like college students that are just like being fed more bullshit by the people around them, you know, just about how like we're bad and like the rest of the world is fucking good. You know, that always fucking blew my mind, how people can just blaze through life just being that ignorant. That was pun intended, you know, because people just, you know, smoked a lot of weed in my hometown. It was kind of like the reason people would move up there from, like people would come up from San Diego all the fucking time just to go to my hometown, just because it was like the weed capital of the United States, or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but, you know, I've always heard about it. Anyway, I've been talking for about 50 minutes. I am gonna play a song by Lingwig, not on here. I'm just gonna put it on the end. The song is called "Do You Doubt Me, Traitor?" Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this every week. So, yeah, just fucking tune in. It's called the First Day Off. You know, I'm gonna do it on my first day off, and then, you know, just start my day off with something productive. Anyway, I'll fucking talk to you you next week, I guess. See, this is where my fucking my self-esteem starts going down. It's like my outros that talked about myself. It's like I can never fucking do that shit. You know, I'm really bad at it. Anyway, my name is Stuart, and I will see you guys later. Bye. No. Fuck it. Yeah. Bye. Fuck it.
How can you doubt me now? How can you doubt me? is etched with my name. Every vein of every leaf of every tree is slaked with poison. If you rise up to heaven, I'll turn the sun to blind you. If you sleep deep in hell, I have chains to bind you. How can you doubt me now? How can you doubt me? How can you doubt me